Okay, you know the scene. We've all been there. You're in a fast food drive-thru, you've placed your order, you pull up to the window, just a totally normal, everyday thing. But then something weird happens.
Right? Maybe they ask you to pull into a parking spot even when there's no one behind you. Or, and this is the really weird one, they ask you to literally back your car up a few feet from the window. It makes no sense, and you're just sitting there thinking, wait, what's going on here? Well, if you've been wondering, you are definitely not alone. This question pops up online all the time, just like this Reddit user points out. It's a common mystery that leaves a lot of us scratching our heads. So today, we're going to solve it. So what is the big secret? Well, it all boils down to one simple thing. The employees are in a race against time. That's really it. It's not about some weird traffic jam or a problem with your food. It's all about a hidden stopwatch that is ticking away, measuring every single second you're in that drive-thru. And the pressure to keep that time as low as possible, it's huge. So what's the magic number they're aiming for? Well, according to folks who've worked there, a lot of fast food chains want every single order, from start to finish, done in under 3 minutes. Think about that. From the second you start talking into that speaker to the moment you drive away. During a lunch rush, that is an incredibly tough goal to hit. And all that pressure leads to this. Well, this clever little workaround. When they ask you to move your car, what they're really doing is trying to get you to drive off a sensor that's buried in the pavement. See, once your car is off that sensor, the system thinks the transaction is over. The clock stops. And on the manager's screen, it looks like another super fast, super efficient service. Okay, but to really get how this little trick works, we need to geek out for a second on the technology they're actually manipulating. I mean, how does the drive-thru even know your car is there? It's a cool piece of tech called inductive loop detection. So basically, there's a big loop of wire under the asphalt, and it's creating a magnetic field. Your car, which is just a big chunk of metal, right? It messes with that field when you drive over it. A little detector notices that change, and bingo, that's how the system sees you and starts that time. And here's what it actually looks like before they pave over it. That simple coil of wire right there. That's the brains of the whole operation. It's the silent witness that starts and stops the clock at every point in your drive-thru journey. This is a great way to visualize what's happening. So on the left, that's the system just hanging out, a nice stable frequency. But then you pull up, and as you can see on the right, your car makes that frequency jump up. That spike is the signal. That's what tells the computer, hey, car here, start the clock. So when they ask you to back up, all they're trying to do is get the system back to that calm state on the left, which tricks it into stopping the timer. All right, so we've got the cheat, we've got the tech, but the real question is, why? Why does this timer matter so much? Because this isn't just about burgers and fries. It's about a much, much bigger trend in how we all work today. That drive-thru timer is a perfect example of what's called a key performance indicator, or a KPI. And these things are everywhere. They're metrics that companies use to track performance and efficiency in almost every industry you can possibly imagine. And here's what it looks like from the other side, from the corporate view. Companies use what's called gamification, with these real-time dashboards and leaderboards to turn work into a constant competition. Hitting those targets can mean bonuses for managers or even determine whether a franchise location is seen as successful. And this intense pressure to hit the metric, even when it goes against common sense or actual good customer service, it happens everywhere. This quote from someone who worked in a call center just nails it. They found a way that was better for the customer, but it made one of their stats look bad. And guess what? The stat was more important. So now we know the why. But this opens up a much bigger debate, doesn't it? Is this just a harmless little trick, or does it cause real problems? And for us, as customers, should we even play along? This really breaks down the conflict perfectly. On one hand, you have the goal from corporate: be fast, be efficient, hit the targets. But on the other hand, you have all these side effects. You get stressed out employees, a culture of cheating the system, and yeah, more mistakes on orders because everyone's rushing. But the biggest side effect is that it hides the real problems. So here's one argument you see from customers. They say, look, I'm not going to help them cheat. The idea here is that by refusing to move, you're actually helping in the long run. You're forcing the company to see the real, honest data. If the numbers look terrible, maybe, just maybe, management will realize the store is understaffed or that their targets are just plain crazy. But then there's a really powerful counterargument. As this person points out, when you refuse to back up, you're not punishing the CEO in some far-off office. You're punishing the teenager at the window who's just trying not to get yelled at by their manager, who's getting yelled at by their boss. The pressure just rolls downhill, and they're at the bottom. And that brings us to the ultimate mind-bending paradox of this whole situation. By gaming the system, the employees are accidentally sending a signal to headquarters that everything's running great. Think about it. If a store is always hitting its impossible time goals, why on earth would corporate hire more people? In fact, if they see those amazing numbers, they might think, wow, they're so efficient, maybe we can cut a position.
It really leaves us with this huge, fascinating question. That one little request to back your car up in a drive-thru, it's a tiny window into this much bigger story about work and pressure and data in our modern world. It really makes you wonder, in this obsessive hunt for perfect numbers and total efficiency, are we actually making everything worse? It's definitely something to chew on the next time you're asked to put it in reverse.